Chen skin. Stop it, guys. Stop. All right, stop. No. All right, let's see all this sick information that they got from this guy who rode the bus from Port Authority. And they're definitely gonna find him. For sure. For sure, they're definitely finding him because they got a backpack. They found a backpack in Central Park. They found one backpack in Central Park. So think about it, Chad. Think about it. Unique Piece, thank you for the 10 months. Thanks. Yeah, I'm a self-honest man. I don't want to talk about it. Joel, thank you for the 10 gift subs. Thank you. And I'm just gonna say it would be really funny if if they start finding a bunch of backpacks that look exactly like that one in Central Park. It would it would be really funny if this was actually someone else's backpack. And they're like, okay, well, apparently we found out that wasn't his backpack, it was someone else's. But we found another one. Wait, but we found another one.
Then there's a certain finite amount of, who knows, right? You run into against the clock here. How long do you think this goes on? And do you think it ends with apprehending the assassin?
Yeah, I think it does end with apprehending. I mean, there's a couple of aspects to that, right? I mean, if you get the guy's name and you release the name, then he knows that we're after him. Police lose their advantage of trying to kind of sneak up on him if he goes back to see family or friends. He might commit suicide. So as long as we think that we can find him and we're getting closer and closer to him from a law enforcement standpoint, we want to be able to do that and can do it in as short of order. Obviously, a fugitive investigation can take hours and it can take days and weeks and months.
Yeah.
But I think that they'll catch up with him.
Of my grandma. I could have been there and identified the hitman, but I guess my health care was denied.
Oh man, so sad that the guy had to die because oh man.
It's a question of having that opportunity to identify him, and that's where we need the public's help.
Kate, David, Ed, thanks very much to all of you. And let's go to Donnie Scott now from Ademia, a company that provides facial recognition technology to law enforcement agencies and also help with the hunt for the Boston Marathon bombers.
That dude fled the country. I mean, there's a very good chance he's fled the country. I mean, unironically, if you can't identify someone by like a good photo of their face, which from my understanding, the jacket and the backpack are different from the guy whose photo that apparently was. Maybe it's not, I don't know. But if you haven't been able to identify him, in how many days has it been? 3, 4 days? You're gone. If you're about to kill someone that is that high profile, I don't know about you guys, I would book a flight, like the first flight I can get, out of the country. I'd book my first flight to fucking Cuba or some shit. Like, huh? And there's not even a guarantee that the guy smiling in the photo is him. Yeah, so they literally don't know. Like, so yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, Chad. I don't think that this is as cut and dry as they're pretending like it is. Make sure to buy a round trip ticket. It's less suspicious. Okay. All right. Got it.
So, Donnie, just trying to understand where we are here. The NYPD is still looking for him. At this point, from what they've told us, he could be anywhere, because if he got in one of those buses and left New York, at this point, he could be anywhere in the United States. Is the picture that you see here, this one and the one where he's smiling, is there any facial recognition technology that you're aware of at this point that could identify a person from these two images?
Yeah, Aaron, great opportunity to be here. Very much appreciate it. I mean, they've been calling it all night with you the money shot, right? That is a very good image from a quality perspective to match a face to. If you look at any of the leading biometric providers...
I don't like that they keep calling it the money shot, dude. I really don't like it. It's also not a good enough shot. Do you know how many twinks on Grindr look exactly like this? This is not a good enough photo, dude. Like, they're not gonna fucking do what? He just looks like a white guy, dude. They're not.
build facial recognition technologies, they would say that odds are if that image were in the database, we would match against it.
And what is
I
okay? So
love that. I love that the smile looks so face-tuned. Like he looks like the after photo after you face-tune someone to smile. Like it's so good. Especially when they cut from like him just standing like to smiling.
Or if that image were in the
I look forward to the next Fear and when Austin says would, yeah.
database, we would match against it.
And what is, okay, so now let's talk about what in the database means. So first of all, I'm presuming you're talking about in the database of somebody who has committed a crime before, right? In that database, you can run that one. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, most Americans may believe that law enforcement has images on everybody in the United States. That's very much not true.
Sure, it's a
And so
conspiracy
Why would you admit to that? Why would you admit that that's not true? Were you trying to get more CEOs killed?
theory on X.
Exactly right. And so if he happens to not be a resident of New York, who happens to not have been arrested before, odds are he's not going to be in their criminal database or their mugshot repository. And so what's likely happening across all law enforcement is they're looking for this image in their local systems to see if this perpetrator exists in their galleries.
Okay, so there's that. Then there's, well, and this is the world we do live in. We all have images of ourselves on our driver's license. If you have a passport, the third
Yeah,
Americans who do,
I'm sure there's only one guy that looks like this on his passport. I'm sure about it. I'm so certain about it.
it exists there. There are places that someone's image would exist. How hard is it for them to run against those? I mean, that I would imagine is a legal permissioning process. Is that not fast?
That's correct. It's a legal permissioning process. The state of New York does not have access to the DMV database for law enforcement purposes by statute. And so it requires cooperation and information sharing and a reason and willingness by the respective agencies to be allowed to share that by law and then put the systems and processes in place that allow them to share that information.
So, you know, last night when John Miller and I were here speaking, he was saying that some of the recognition technology, in some senses, the human eye, and he's still sitting here, so correct me if I'm wrong, but the human eye can look at an image like that and say, I know that guy, in some ways better than a recognition software, which really is enhanced when a hood
Do I need to pull up the Obama photo? The pixelated Obama photo?
goes down, or you actually get a full image of a face. Is that a concern that you have at this point? I mean, is it possible that the kind of hits, for lack of a better word, that you would get off those two images that we have are still just way too plentiful to yield a...
Like human eyes are, the human brain in general is very impressive. And it's because it's not necessarily even your eyes that are impressive, because cameras are better than the human eye at capturing things. We have cameras that are way better at capturing really small things and really big things and really far things and really close things. It's that your brain is so fucking good at recognizing faces, unless you have face blindness. And computers, unfortunately, have bias as impacted by human beings. And they're also not good. I wonder who this strapping young gentleman could be. Surely a white man. This is when they were trying to like pick up more technology on like enhancing pixelated photos. Real eyes, real guys. All these photos are not the real guy. Yeah. I'm afraid you ain't black. Sucks away your melanin. That's what happened to Obama when he didn't vote for Biden.
real, this is who it is.
Yeah, our job is really to make law enforcement's job easier. If you think about the real basis and use of facial recognition technologies, it's to sift through the millions and millions of images to get it down to a small subset that the expert can use to make the identification. Face is not a fingerprint, it's not DNA, it's not used for affirmative match. It's used to get to a small enough number where that expert can say, yes, I believe we have an investigative lead here. What other evidence may we have that can match this person to the crime?
That's really fascinating that you say that. I mean, because yes, I understand intellectually, of course, what you're saying, right? It's not DNA, it's not a fingerprint. But of course, as a human being, face is everything, right? In terms of recognizing a human being. But so it's important you explain that.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And the other use in this case, which many of your experts have talked about, is if we don't know who that person is, how can we track them across the various streams of video that come in from the public? And so we may not know who the perpetrator is, but we can use the same set of technologies to know that perpetrator has been in these 7 video streams doing across this series of time, doing these activities.
I like that. I like that universe where this guy keeps getting caught on video and he keeps doing the same smile in multiple videos, but they can't catch him. And he's like 10 CEOs down. I really like that idea. Yeah, we're going to catch him in other videos of him committing crimes.
So whether it's the face, the backpack, the hat, those can also be used.
It's so funny because like every time that the police force or any like detectives or any what's the term, like not informants, specialists and experts come onto mainstream media to try and talk about how much work they're getting done trying to get this guy. They're just proving that they don't have anything. They were better off just getting on and being like, we cannot issue any details on this case. We're still working really hard to try and figure out what we can about him. Ice Age Comet, thank you for the tier 1. Frost Prime, thank you for the 3 months. I do feel obligated to let everybody know this is a fake birthday because my birthday was canceled when I got banned a month ago. Exactly. So instead of doing our usual November 7th birthday stream, we're doing a fake December 7th birthday stream. Yeah, Twitch put me into jail. They put me in jail. It's really funny hanging out with people who are not like Twitch people, but they do other types of content and being like, they're like, oh, so what have you been up to? And I was like, unemployed for a month, you know, hanging out. They're like, what? Yeah. There's a CNN article on it if you want to read it. And like obviously I'm a huge leftist, so like they see this stuff and they're like, okay, interesting. Mad Lad, thank you for the prime. Thanks.
With the same technologies to track the perpetrator across multiple streams.
Which is a huge point, because obviously so much faster than someone sitting there watching it and blinking and missing it when it happens. You actually find it with the print.
What used to take us days and weeks is now in minutes and seconds.
It's incredible, and we'll see what that means for when this individual is found, if or when. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your taking the time.
The chief of detectives Kenny, telling the New York Times that investigators are looking into the possibility those shells may have been used in what is known as a veterinary gun. This is a photo of it, a larger firearm used on farms and ranches. Chief Kenny saying, quote, if an animal has to get put down, the animal can be shot without the weapon causing a large noise. There's a suppressor on it. Again, New York's 2 top police officials spoke today with CNN's Shimon Prokupecz, who joins us now from the Upper West Side of Manhattan, where authorities believe the suspect caught that cab uptown to the bus station. So the backpack that the NYPD found, believed to belong to the gunman, what more do we know about how they found it, where exactly was it, and what happens now?
Well,
Put him down like an animal, you say.
It was during our interview with the police commissioner that we learned that they were
Let's see how this plays with the audience.
actually back in Central Park doing a secondary search. And it was during that secondary search at around 5 p.m. or so that they found the backpack. And then what they did, as you said, Anderson, is once they located, the officers located it, they brought in teams. They used an excavator so as to not disturb any of the contents, not to mess with anything that could be on there, like DNA or other evidence. And so then they removed it, not to disturb anything inside. They even took dirt from the ground with it, and now it's all being processed by lab technicians at the NYPD.
So not only would the contents inside perhaps hold some DNA, if the gun is actually inside the bag itself, there could even be DNA, I guess, on the shoulder straps. If he sweated onto the bag, he was carrying that around a lot.
Right, there could be any kind of DNA perhaps on there. You know, also given
Put the DNA in the bag.
proximity of him to the victim, you know, you never know, Anderson. There could be blood on there. There could be other things. It's just very hard to know right now what other items could possibly be on the bag, and so this is why they want to be so careful in removing it. You know, they had spent some time searching for it days ago after this shooting, and now today, finally, the NYPD decided, let's go back. And in our interview today with the NYPD, you know, we spoke at length about this investigation, where it's at, and what they are doing to try and locate the suspect. Take a listen. Where are we in the investigation? Where is this guy? Who is this guy?
So I'll start by saying we have every reason to believe that this was a targeted attack on an individual rather than a random act of violence on New York City streets. We do have a person of interest.
That one was too stupid. I have to hear it again.
A targeted attack on an individual. Saying,
Where is this guy? Who is this guy?
Okay,
So-
can I be mean? I don't know if it's, I assume it's her makeup artist that is just like cooking the shit out of her. But they gave her Play-Doh textured skin. She looks like one of the characters from that one TV show. It wasn't a cartoon. It was Meat Boy and if they worked in like a Mr. Meaty. Do you know what I'm talking about? This one. Yes. Yes, Mr. Meaty. Yes. Yes, this. Like, I'm telling you guys, she doesn't even, I bet she doesn't even look bad. This is literally camera, and her makeup artist fucking hates her. They gave her no texture on her face. They put one color, straight powder, and nothing else. They didn't even bother giving her eyebrows. Like, her makeup artist hates her. Oh my.
I'll start by saying we have every reason to believe that this was a targeted attack on an individual rather than a random act of violence on New York City streets. We do have a person of interest in the case, and we have released.
You know, what would we do without cops, dude? What would we do without the New York City Police Commissioner? Thank you for letting us know that it wasn't a random act of violence. You know, I wasn't sure, you know, given the silenced pistol and the covered face and paying only in cash. And then, you know, writing deny, defend, depose, or sorry, delay, depose. I wasn't sure, but I'm glad that you'd let me know that it wasn't a random act of violence. Whew, I was so scared.
Released the photo yesterday. We would appreciate you getting that photo out to your audience because we also have reason to believe that the person in question has left New York City. So we want a wider audience to see the picture outside of New York City.
Okay, so that's new information. And what is that based on? Why do you believe that this person has left New York City?
So we have our perpetrator leaves the Hilton Hotel after the incident takes place. We have them getting on a bicycle and riding into Central Park. We then later pick him up on 77th Street, exiting the park on Central Park West, still with the bicycle. Eventually, we have him on 86th Street and Columbus Avenue, walking. He loses the bike. And then from there, we have him in a taxi cab, and the taxi cab takes him up to 178th Street and Broadway, which, as we know, is a Port Authority bus center. Those buses are interstate buses. That's why we believe he may have left New York City.
And do you know what bus he got on, where that bus was going?
We're working into that, and we're looking into that now. It's a very busy bus terminal. We want to make sure we have the right bus, but we're working through that right now. It's all new information.
I want to get back to that quickly, but because this is new information, I think it's important for New York City residents certainly to know that this individual is no longer, you believe he's no longer
We
here.
said we have reason to believe
Right.
he's no longer in New York
And that, I
City.
assume, is based on video of...
We have video of him entering the...
It's like Mrs. and Mr. Plato, dude. Yeah, this is such a joke, dude. Oh my God, dude. We're really working hard. We're looking, it's a big bus situation. We are really looking for this bus. We're gonna hope that we have enough footage.
Port Authority bus terminal. We don't have any video of him exiting, so we believe he may have gotten on a bus.
Okay, and we don't know what bus
No,
this
not at
person.
this time.
I want to ask, the photo from the hostel, you do believe that is the alleged suspect, correct? At the
Yes.
desk, you do believe. Do you believe he's wearing different clothing than from what he wore during the commission of the murder?
The appearance from when he's checking into the hostel at the desk, obviously it's only a headshot. It appears that he's wearing the same hooded jacket that he was wearing the day of the incident.
You've been at this a long time. How planned was this? The resources that were involved in this? What's your sense of this?
My sense of this is that he definitely planned this out. He arrived in New York City, obviously, before the incident took place. We have him on video prior to the incident for almost a half an hour walking and wandering around the hotel area before he committed this act. So, you know, do I think it was planned? Yes, I do. Just in the mere fact that he knew what time the victim was going to be walking by. He knew what hotel this conference was going to be in.
And he's been traveling and walking around the streets of New York City largely in a mask with his face covered. We had to go through lots of video evidence to get that one money shot of him with the mask down.
There's been a lot of speculation about the type of gun, how he fired, did it jam, did it not jam? What's your sense on that now, and what kind of a gun do you believe was used here?
We really won't be able to confirm that until we seize that gun. But, you know, from talking to people that are familiar with firearms, it appears that either there was a malfunction in the gun that he was clearing, or it's a specific type of gun that's a bolt action gun that he was ejecting rounds as he was reloading the gun.
Did he? Oh, a bolt action pistol? I mean, it didn't look like it from the video, but okay, I guess. Oh, okay.
And Anderson, one of the things that they told me that a lot of the investigators are doing, they're sitting in rooms watching video, sometimes for hours and hours, just looking for the smallest of clip to try and locate where he may have been. Now, obviously, that they believe that he's out of New York City, the manhunt continues, and it's going to take a lot more resources now to...
Someone posted this video regarding
I'm starting
this.
to see a bunch of comments coming through on mostly my Wellrod videos suggesting that Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, who was recently killed in New York City, was in fact killed with a Wellrod or a modern VP9. All of those comments, those theories, are in fact pretty conclusively wrong. I've watched that video, the surveillance video myself, and what I'm seeing there is a typical semi-auto pistol with a suppressor that has been set up poorly and has malfunctioned on almost every shot. We see the guy grabbing the slide and yanking it back to clear malfunctions. That may seem like the same sort of motion that's required to cycle a Wellrod or VP9, but it's not. Having shot a number of Wellrods and VP9s, it's definitely a different mechanic going on. And looking at that video, the guy is clearly trying...
I trust this guy based on his facial hair alone.
...to fix a regular semi-auto pistol. He is not shooting a Wellrod or a VP9.
I just feel like if you were trying to assassinate someone, why would you get a gun that is more work to like what's the pro there? Why wouldn't you just get a pistol? Just like a normal semi-auto pistol with a silencer on it. Less traceable? Wouldn't it be more traceable because way less people buy this gun? It's quiet. Is it quieter than a pistol with a silencer? Okay. I trust you guys, chat.
To try and find him. They're going through video at the bus depot in Upper Manhattan here to try and figure out what bus he got on. That's the
Also, well rods are kind of rare. It's so quiet you can fire it without ear protection. It's literally magic. I've shot one before. I guess I gotta go shoot one, dude. I guess I gotta go shoot a well rod. Suppressors are still pretty dang loud. Oh yeah, no, I know.
big question now. What bus did he
Suppressors are just quiet relative to the gun without it.
get on here, get on to get out of here, and where did he go?
Shimon Prokupez, appreciate it. Thanks. Joining us now is former FBI agent Scott Curtis, also CNN national security analyst Julia Kayyem, and CNN chief law enforcement and intelligence analyst John Miller. John, obviously a lot of new developments today. The idea, first of all, on this gun is interesting. The idea that it could be a veterinary or a gun that veterinarians use.
Yeah, what Chief Kenny is talking about is after this assassination, you know, the NYPD went to its firearms experts and said, what is this gun with this enormous silencer? And they examined it closely. It's a blurry shot, but they also looked at the way he was manipulating the weapon. And they said, you know, that looks like the B&T VP9. Now, as you see, it has this large extended silencer that is screwed onto a threaded, rather short barrel. But the way the gun works is you fire it with that trigger, and then it doesn't automatically load the next round. You have to pull back on the rear of that slide.
This is a very Looney Tunes ass gun. I almost wish that the shooter used this one instead, because this is way funnier to die to.
And let it go to eject one round and feed the next in. If we look at that videotape taken during the actual shooting, you see him fire the gun, he's pulling back, firing the gun.
I see. So it's not necessarily that it jammed, per se.
Right, so that's the question. And here's the investigative conundrum. Which
I love how you can see the cars like just driving. This is truly a New York video. Just like people know shit is going down and they're like, maybe it's legit. Fuck. Maybe it was valid, dude. I don't fucking know, dude. I'm tired. Working in the night shift. I gotta go home, dude. They're ready to play PoE.
is he's manipulating that gun that appears to be this, you know, kind of assassin's weapon, but they also found shell casings on the ground, but they also found live rounds. So the question is, was he familiar enough with the working of the weapon? Did he?
It does look like in the second, I mean, there's, if we re-rack it, he fires, he does it, he fires, I mean, he, like there, and then he fires, and then he seems to like tap it 2 or 3 times.
Right. So either he's undergoing a malfunction because he doesn't know how that weapon.
I mean, yeah, that I feel like if you were using something bolt action, it's a clean motion. Whereas if your gun is jamming, it's not a clean motion because you're trying to get it to fucking stop. Now he just likes tapping his gun.
works. Or
it's just his fetish.
I mean, it's a blurry shot. It may be another weapon, even a ghost gun with a large suppressor or silencer.
Scott, what do you
on
make
the
of it?
end?
It looks like the slide was stuck. He was tapping the back of the slide to get the round in the in battery.
Like you mentioned, either there was a malfunction where he was doing the drill tap rack ready to cycle another round in there, or he got overzealous and he cycled 2 rounds there instead of just pulling it back and letting 1 round cycle into the chamber.
But there's a weird cultural thing here. I mean, you wouldn't be committing a professional murder with a veterinary's gun, but this gun is based on the design of something called the well rod. And even going back to the British and the Allied forces in World War II in the 1940s, the well rod was the assassin's weapon. It when you fire it with.
Well, yeah, because they didn't have any other fucking guns. What do you mean? And that'd be like that'd be like saying, you know, in the 1930s, cocaine was the drug of choice for doctors everywhere. That was the choice for doctors. So if you think about it, this person doing coke, are they a doctor? Are they not? Who knows? So it's really hard to tell.
Glad you're back. Dog.
Oh, brown paper brick. Thank you for the 9 months.
That suppressor, you get a sound like a book hitting a table in a library.
And the
very
idea
quiet.
why a vet would have that is so that it doesn't disturb, I guess, other animals.
Exactly. It's practically silent. It's a significant round. It's a 9mm round, and it's meant for close-up killing. It's meant for vets to kill an animal by shooting it in the head or somewhere.
Pistol silencers need a device called a muzzle booster to properly cycle. The motion he's making looks like racking a standard handgun. This well rod talk is insane. Yeah.
That's going to be fatal.
Yeah.
But it would work the exact same way on humans very effectively and extraordinarily quietly.
This guy looks like he was, I think this guy,
or somewhere.
even the way this guy talks, I'm pretty sure this guy teleported from I'm pretty sure he jumped through time from the 1940s, actually.
It's a significant round. It's a 9mm round, and it's meant for close-up killing. It's meant for vets to kill an animal by shooting it in the head or somewhere, that's going to be fatal. But it would work the exact same way on humans very effectively and extraordinarily quietly.
He literally sat. He literally. I noticed a detail in that there was a live round found at the scene, so maybe he did clear out an extra round and that was on purpose to get the message out. I mean, that's also very reasonable. Actually, Denims, you know what? It was a well rod. For sure, they're right. They need to investigate that. You know what, guys? I think that they should spend at least 3 days, at least a week if they really have to, investigating just to make sure they know which gun it is, because I think that this theory might have some value, okay? I think that it's true. It's very true, and I think that, yeah, just a full week to be sure. Just a full week to be sure. Not sure if you covered this already, but a cop suggested that the CEO hired his own killer. We did. I was like, maybe I'm a fucking moron. Maybe I'm a moron, but this sounds insane to me. This sounds so stupid to me. You hired your own hitman so that the internet and everybody on the planet can fucking hate you? That's so stupid. You would have more glory, like, actually offing yourself. While talking on CNN, Major Neil Franklin told Dana Bash that it is a possibility that Thompson may have hired a gunman to kill him Wednesday morning. And then basically the guy, he says there are times when people have orchestrated their own demise for certain reasons. Bash asked Franklin if he was saying it's a possibility he hired someone to kill him. Absolutely, Franklin responded, it cannot be ignored. Oh my God. Oh my God, dude. Christ. And it's like, it's such a fundamental misunderstanding of like how rich people operate and what rich people think of themselves versus other people. Like, to a rich person, the most valuable thing on the planet is their own life, and it is above everything else. Maybe he hired him just to shoot him, but not kill him, and the assassin was like, fuck it, we ball. Well, yeah, the so-called evidence of this theory was basically him saying, how did he know exactly where he was? Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird that he knows exactly where he was? But I'm down for that theory. Case closed. We got it, guys. We're done. We caught the killer. Arrest his dead body. We found him. So yeah. So yeah. That's pretty incredible, dude. Pretty incredible. All right, guys. I also wanted to take a peek at this really quick as well. I'm not sure if he is showing any new information, but CoffeeZilla put out a video called Exposing the Hawk Tua Scam.